All right, what's going on? What's going on here? We are live at a partial delay, but we are here to say the least. Appreciate y'all being patient and definitely coming in on this Sunday morning. We back at our regular time this this day here. First of all, as you all may see, we have some differences here. Um, Changing up the color scheme here. With the grid set it, the logo, everything is looking a little different here, as you may see. And just get ready for the season. I was thinking about doing something like that closer to the season, but it's like, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's get this thing started here. Um, so here we are. If you're new here, make sure you like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Um, get them lights up for you here live, for you watching the replay. Appreciate you all coming through here. Um, I was asked, I know B Watts asked, and I mentioned something before. So I just want to go ahead and give a shout out. We actually have a new sponsor here starting this month here. And I can consider myself maybe a affiliate or really the ambassador for a movement here, as you see in the background. There and there, you see some of the background. I'm going to have some things coming down the road real soon. We have what is called the Unified Strength. It's a movement here, so you'll hear more about it. Got the hats, got the shirts, but like I say, a brother reached out to me about what he wanted to do. He wanted me to, be the person to help get it out, and real soon you'll see a lot of people, out and about wearing it. It's part of the apparel that we see. So definitely want to support this movement. And when you need something to wear for your games, it's almost like, you support Greg Said It. And I don't necessarily have anything out there, Greg Said It. That's like that. I don't know how I feel about that. That's weird, because that's my brand. But, this movement here, was something that really stood out because of the message behind it. And we've been talking about some of the messaging. And when you look at unified strength, that's one of those. It stood out to me. That title in itself stood out to me, like unified strength. And I was like, that's deep for clothing. It got to be deeper than football. It's got to be deeper than just some. But it's that message. And, we all are unified here with Colorado, and that's why we're here to support them. We fight for them. We go to bat for them. And then, also just if people as a general in the times we in, we better unified than divided. Anybody who believes otherwise is a fool. All it takes is life to get bad enough to know how much you need other people. And, other people are important because of the fact that you can't make it. You think you're making it. Don't be foolish. When you look at different skills, different talents, different everything helps this world go around, different imagination. We look at the clothes we wear, the houses we live in, everything was made by somebody. So we all contribute to that. So I like that message. And, when you look at unified strength, it's us. Like when you see the shirts, they say us. When you see that, you know what that is. Us. When you hear us, it's like all of us. And one group that represents us is definitely people who are Greg Said It. I know people go on other channels, but it's us. It's us against the world. Us with Colorado Buffaloes. And that's what we have, man. We have a lot going on. It's never in the story. When you look at B. Watt sent me a article not too long ago. They was showing how Colorado was fighting each other. And, that's what happens on the football field. And it's like, they were like, Colorado got this toxic culture and this, that, and the other. And I just felt like that was weird because, it happens in sports. It happens. It's not something that's abnormal. It's not nothing to be concerned about. But they're selling it like, oh, Colorado culture is bad, you know, and it's just weird that, you know, everything that happens with Colorado, they want to spin it in a way where it's like Coach Prime don't know what he's doing, you know, because one of the things that we all kind of felt last year, we felt like Colorado was soft. Let's be real. Colorado was soft in a lot of ways. They gave up more sacks. People was hitting their quarterback, knocking their star player out the game, and it was like, y'all just gonna sit back and let that happen. And it was weird. It was weird to watch. And so a lot of us who play ball say, hey, well, he needs to, you know, they need to get a hold of that. We need to get some people who really gonna fight back. So now that you see them fighting, now they trying to spin it like, oh, you know, Colorado has a toxic culture. The locker room. They said the locker room, but you ain't seen no fights in the locker room. If it is, you not seeing it. But they calling it the locker room, but they're showing images of them fighting on the field, which if they, you know, it's some I don't know what kind of weak mess that is, or a lady white. I don't know, because anybody know if you play any kind of football, any level, that's all that happens a lot of times, especially during camp. A lot of fighting. You know, people felt like, you know, you hit them too hard or hit them late, or you just being aggressive, and it's like, that's what it is. And I don't know what people expect, but the problem is they're using the assets that we all have to Colorado against them, and they point out things like, oh, look at that, but everybody fighting that count. As a matter of fact, they say if you're not fighting that count, you know, you ain't really got no football program. That's what people will say, you know. So, you know, don't get caught up in the hype, the false hype. You know, you hearing about Colorado, oh, they're losing it, oh, they're scared, oh, it's football camp. Like, for those who don't know, sit back and listen, sit back and watch people who actually done this. You know, it's an aggressive sport. I don't know how you're not going to fight. You know, somebody gonna feel like you got the best of them, try to take advantage of them or something, and they're gonna fight. So, you know, at the end of the day, we right on schedule. And that's what we're here to talk about today. We here to kind of recap that first week in the fall. And I know a lot of y'all, you know, kind of went real slow. It was fast, semi-fast, a lot of changes. People joined the team. We watching the portal. That was all season. Who coming? Who leaving? And that was the whole, you know, pretty much January through pretty much almost May, right? And then they come in, some guys came in for the summer. We had to wait after May, and then June they came in, and you know, they had the little summer practices. Then they get break here, break that, 4th of July break, this break, that break. Then you got right before the fall break. Now we here in fall. And so it's like now we got it's like we got to get in condition, kind of like how they have to get in condition. When we look at the fact that now we got content pretty much every day, because during the off season it was like when they were actually practicing, we had some content every other day, and you know, it was like, oh, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that was plenty. Then you look at the fact that okay, they was off, so we like it's just us right here. We meeting on our regular schedule, talking and what's going on, what we hear going on. But now it is what it is. The boys are back in town. We got content right now in camp 6 days a week. And when the season hit, we're going to have content going pretty much 6 days a week. We're going to have practice on Monday. Matter of fact, 7 days a week, because they practice on Sundays. So, you know, we might get a little clip the day after the game. But we're going to have content at least 6 days a week, pretty much 7 days a week during the season. And they do have 2 off weeks, bye weeks, which is interesting, because they usually only have like 1 bye week. So they're going to get a couple bye weeks. But like I say, we're going to be rolling by then, man. We're going to have so much going on and to talk about. And right now, we just seen a couple days of the guys in the pads. We saw the guys out in the shells trying to hit each other. They don't take each other down. They out there with shells and, you know, little pad on the helmet. And these guys ready to hit. I have my theories. You know, everybody have their theories. That's why we do what we do. But at the end of the day, I think they looking good from the little clips that we got. Speaking of that, a lot of people think they know what's going on based off of these clips. We got like a 30-minute video showing a bunch of different random clips. starting the video at the end in the middle of the play, or he start off the play then cut to another one. You notice he's a lot more strategic, Bucky, and all of them really. There is they all kind of show snippets, so nobody can really have advantage of knowing what's going on. They'll see the play, but they don't see the beginning. They don't see the result. They don't see none of the, they cut out on certain audio. They're really strategic about showing us what we need, what we want to see, without showing the competitors, the competition, and getting them an edge on what's going on. Matter of fact, it could work against them, because what you think you have no idea. So when you look at the fact that Colorado is doing these different, whatever, you may think, because the personnel groups, just keep switching around. You see, Jordan seating their left tackle, Jordan seating their right tackle, Benson at right tackle, Benson at left tackle, Benson at guard. We don't even, we just know they're moving around. Defense the same way. There's no personnel. It's just, we can say, oh, that's going to be the starting group. We don't see pretty much all running backs run the ball. We don't see pretty much most of the receivers catch the ball. We don't see pretty much all the linebackers. So he's done a good job. And he missed a lot of stuff. We see stuff right on the video where he say, oh, I missed that touchdown. So he's definitely not there to catch everything. He's there really to give us context. And that's what we can value, because we get an idea of what our team look like. But we can't dare say that they're giving us the full picture of the team and they're showing us everything, because we looking at clearly he's not catching everything. He's not even trying to catch everything. He just want to catch some good stuff content-wise. But based off of what we see, one thing start on the offensive side of the ball. They can block. Okay. We couldn't say that last year. Let's get that out. Last year, our line was too small. Everybody thought us out. We tried to defend them like, oh, that's okay. We got people right at 300. Okay, that's dead. It's been dead in the water. They can block, and they're not undersized. And we got a variety of shapes and sizes and experience. Can we not say that? Right? So, at the end of the day, we know they can block. And from just some of the clips we've seen, what's going on, our jizzle, we know that they can run block. We've seen pretty much every running back get a decent run, even though they're not tackling. We can't say everything that they bust off on that they would have did it, because we know they're not tackling. But we've seen some holes made. We've seen holes made for Charlie. We've seen holes made for Auguste. I haven't seen a lot of Brandon Hood, but I have seen some clips of him making some plays, and I haven't seen a lot of Welch. But I've seen, they made some plays, so we've seen a nice variety. Hayden, over the period of the week, it's been pretty fairly balanced, and I think they're doing it on purpose, because you can't really gauge who the starter, who getting the most reps based off of the video, but we are getting a chance to get a look at these different players, regardless who's going to start, who's going to play, or whatever. We getting a chance to see them versus, hypothetical and film before they came. We getting to see them in real life. The only difference is they're not taking them to the ground. And I don't know. I mean, they just got out there. They don't have to rush to go to taking them to the ground. They got a whole season for that. So this is the first week. I think it's smart to gradually get people body ready. That's how you prevent injuries. You don't want to put the body into situations where it's not ready. The neck, a lot of people don't know. For those who didn't play football, it's a reason why football players' neck be so big. My neck was twice as big, because you got a few pound helmet on your head that's weights at all times. And when you first go back out to practice, no matter how many years you played, when you don't have an off season of not having something on your neck, and then you put that helmet on, that's why the first few days usually be helmet only. And even when you have practice, you always have at least the helmet on, because that neck got to be comfortable with that helmet. So when you first go back, everything right here is sore. That muscle right there on both sides is sore, like somebody hit you in the neck. Before you even hit anybody, just wearing the helmet, just your muscles, like any muscle gets sore when you use it, just using your muscles. And, so that's why it'll be dangerous just to go out there day one and hit for people who don't know. Because it's like a baby. Those muscles got to get used to it. Hopefully they got some weight machines that assimilate it, but it's still different than running with something on your head. That your bodies are constantly, even though it look normal, your body has to manage that weight that's not normally there, from turning your head and doing all this normal movement, you're doing it with weights on. It's like walking around with ankle weights on. Your body is like, it's hard to get used to that. Imagine you have to play with ankle weights on and ankle and wrist weights. It'll be different. So your neck is holding that weight. So, they got in a few days getting that in. They were so ready to hit each other, but you just don't need to jump out there just hitting people like that, because you can injure yourself. And it's a lot tied to that neck. I mean, your shoulders, your back. And, in a weird way, how the body works, when you go to compensate one area, it can make you get injured in another area. Sometimes, you can hurt your ankle and end up hurting your knee, or you can pull your hamstring and end up hurting your ankle. So that's what we got going on. It's still early. We're not in a rush for them to get out there and go to hitting on each other, because this is just week one. They got at least a couple more weeks left, really a few more weeks left. That week for the game is technically outside of camp. So you got a couple more weeks left, and it's going to go fast, and there's no real reason to panic. But based off of what we're seeing, it is a transition. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it is a transition, because a lot of people are starting to see, why people say, wait till you get that equipment on. Because a lot of things you're forced to do without equipment that you're not forced to do with equipment. For example, we saw the one-on-one drills and stuff like that. There's certain skill sets that's required for offensive lineman to block somebody without equipment that he can kind of get away from when he put that equipment on. I can't lay on you and use my physicality the same way without equipment than I could with equipment. So what I've noticed, I don't know if y'all noticed, y'all let me know. I heard some comments, but I've noticed that I've heard comments from coaches, and I heard comments from just people on the internet about the difference. And they said, don't look at those one-on-one drills. Well, I think it's twofold. I think on one end, it's like somebody can look good in the one-on-one drills because you don't have the equipment on and they're not as physical, or they look good because when they put the pads on, they become too physical. And what I mean by that is, if somebody lean on their physicality, they kind of get away from their skills. Like, if I can just bull rush you every time, I stop using my hands. And that's what you start hearing a lot of people saying, like, they're not using their hands the same way. Well, that's what happens when you didn't have equipment on. You couldn't lean on your helmet and shoulder pads and running into them and ramming them and bamming them, because y'all both ain't got nothing to protect you. Your face, nothing. So y'all using your hands. My only thing would be that they got to be cognizant of that, because when you look at it, those drills and how they look, what was impressive was the variety of hand skills and techniques that they were using, but you just kind of go to old habits. So when I look at the offensive line, I think that the defense had an advantage in the one-on-one. So now you hear people say the defense don't look the same. The coach is saying, y'all not doing the same. Hey, Coach Prime even said it. Y'all not looking like y'all was over there. Well, I think those one-on-one drills benefits you as a defensive line for a few reasons. Because when you were in a one-on-one over there, I got to put my hands on your body, your slippery body. You know what I'm saying? You moving. My hands can slide off of you. I can't really grab, but when you put them shoulder pads on, it's different, because you give me more to grab. Like, it's a difference between this and this, So if I miss your body, it's like you slippery. But if I hit your shoulder pads, how to hit you, it's on you, so it affects you. I can manipulate you with your shoulder pads. I can grab you with those shoulder pads. I can't, they teach you to come up on. You can't do that. That's what they were saying in the drills. Like, about a week or so ago, the coach was saying, "Hey, I know they don't have shoulder pads on, but this is this is what we're trying to do." And it's to the advantage of the offense when you put them shoulder pads on. It's to the advantage of the defense when you take them off. So you got to be realistic. Like, you can't, we got to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. You can't compare apples to oranges, is what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, it's the same people. It's just a different situation. And that's the power of sports. That's the power of life. People adjust differently in different situations. I mean, this, just like playing a guy who's really fast on turf versus grass, or playing a guy that's really, really fast on dry grass versus wet grass. That wet grass neutralizes him. That wet grass takes away some of his benefits. When them shoulder pads take away some of them benefits from the defense. So it's not that nothing changed as much as, the grounds are leveling out, and it does it for everybody. So I think the offense has done an exceptional job of being able to block those hornets coming out the line. I mean, they like people say, they flying around. I told you that when they was over there. You don't want to watch. I said, boy, they moving fast, and we really wasn't seeing them move as a unit. They will be playing as an individual. So a lot of people say the offense has to gel. Defense they're going to gel too, because once they introducing the stunts and the games and stuff like that, then you're looking at their ability to be a team player. I'm not just rushing the guy. I'm setting it up for my guy to get to the ball. So you starting to see that in the drills. Like, okay, they're working on playing as a unit, and that's going to take time, just like the offense. And they got the right to make mistakes. They need to make mistakes, especially in the first week. We need them to make the mistakes so they can correct them before they get in the season. We need them to struggle. We need them to miss blocks. We need them to get in the wrong gap now. I don't need you to get in the game and go in the wrong gap. I don't need you to get in the game and miss your blocks and say, I didn't know. Make your mistakes now. Defense confuse them now. Get them all tied up in a knot now. We don't need no twerking like UCLA game and these other games we watch, where they just let a guy run by, they looking dumb. We throw everything at them. Coach Sam throw everything at them. So they can't say, I never seen that before. I didn't know what to do. And that's what I like. It's a back and forth between the defense and the offense. It looks like the defense having a good day, offense having a good day, or split down the middle. Again, we don't know because we're watching clips. They can tell us whatever. Yeah, the defense won, and they just talking, and that's fine. We just get a look at our biggest concern. Do they know what they're doing? What does it look like? Are they looking like last year? Are they out there just missing assignments? Are they out there just getting manhandled? To be real, I looked at last year, they was doing their one-on-one drills, stuff like that. It always used to look like the defense, it was one-sided. The defense looked like they were manhandling, and then we thought the defense was going to be good, and they say, oh, well, it's just because they was going against our offensive line. Maybe that was true. I think the defense came into their own as far as the defensive line, but neither one of them were really, really sized. None of them really had an exceptional size to go heavy when we need. I think it's going to be some times where we can go heavier. We can favor the heavier sets, depending on who we're playing. It's a personnel thing. You got to have the options. You got to have the options at the end of the day. Who's the personnel that's the best fit for a situation where let's going to say they're just going to bogard you and run all over you today. And they're just going to be bold about it. And it's like, so you're just going to let me know? And they like, can you stop me? You can't stop me. When they go to talking like that, and he's like, okay, we got something for that. We didn't have that. We was one-dimensional, and we didn't have no depth. So imagine them being, a pure lightweight, no real heavy-duty guys, and you had to be like, he had to play regardless. He limping on both sides of the ball. That's not the case. And I think that's the difference. I think that's what we see. I also like the fact that I'm seeing right now, pretty much all the linemen. I noticed, especially recently, all the guys that's out there, when you look at well off, you're not seeing a whole lot of video where it's the same people out there. And also, you're not seeing a lot of video where they're always in the same position. We don't see pretty much every one of those guys outside the centers play multiple positions. We've seen multiple positions from Jordan Seaton. We've seen multiple positions for Cleo Benson. We've seen it from Justin Mayers. We've seen Tyler Brown. It looked like Tyler Brown was playing right tackle. He's been primarily playing guard. He looked like he was playing right tackle. I know people said Tyler Johnson. That was top 56 is Tyler Brown. And it's like, wow. It's like all those, every set is a different guy in a different place. This is the time to figure that out. Not only is it the time to figure it out, it's your time to get them reps because we need backups. And if somebody go down or the wrong situation happens, a couple guys go down, it could cause our whole line to shift. It's not like you just these guys only play tackle. You ain't got that many linemen. You got 5 of them out there at a time, and you might have 15. You're doing good if you got 18 linemen, right? At any given time. We know we just lost one. We might probably get just for depth 1 or 2 more because people get injured. Whatever happens, that can happen. You don't want to end up with just 12 linemen, and then you limit it by those 12 because you're like, okay, this guy is only able to play guard. So not only do I only have 12, but I got a bunch of single position guys. So if I got 2 guys who go down at left tackle and you only play right tackle, then I'm basically don't have nobody play left tackle. I only had 2 guys who can play left tackle versus the right tackle can play left tackle. So that's a third one. One of the guys playing guard can play tackle. I have options, and if I need to move people around, it's not gonna throw my whole line off. Because if I got to move him from right to left tackle over here, because both my left tackles went down, and now the guy coming to back him up at right tackle get hurt. Now we screwed. I moved my original tackle over here at this tackle. Now he don't got hurt. So I lost 2. Then I ended up losing both my tackles from my right by moving one over here, and one of them got hurt. You see how that works? I hope y'all catching that. These 2 tackles over here get hurt. This one got to come over here. Or maybe one got hurt, one just doing a piss poor job. His backup was doing a piss poor job. I got to move him over here, move Benson over there. And now I got somebody have to fill in for him at the right tackle, and then he get hurt. So technically I only had 2 tackles get hurt, one didn't do their job, and they just threw my whole line off. So the fact that you're practicing right now, it like everybody say, okay, you need to play at least 2 positions. I prefer 3. I see you can play both right tackle, you can play left tackle, and you can play left guard and right guard, whatever I need you. And it makes you look like more of an asset, not only to the team, but if you want to go to NFL, this like Benson on show, he can play all 4 positions. The only thing he ain't did is snap, and I don't know if I want somebody 6'7" snapping the ball. But he don't play. I don't seen him start off in the spring or whatever. He was at right tackle. Then we seen him play some right guard. Then later in the summer we seen him over there at left tackle, and then we seen him at some left guard. I think we seen him at left guard. Yeah, he got played because he went against McNeil. So that man don't play all 4 positions. That's a beautiful thing. That's a situation you want to be in that. You don't want to be in a situation where I described earlier where one guy go down. What's going on? Last year the offense was dominant in training camp, including the O-line. That's what gave some fans panic going into TCU. Now the defense is holding its own in each practice. Well, that's a good point. I don't know if the offense was dominant. I just think our skill players were just dominant. I think we had it. I think if you put a line in front of Shedeur last year, you got a team that was gonna win 9-10 games, easy, if not more. If you put a line and don't change nobody else, everybody talking about the running game. I know Savion can run the ball. I know all them other guys the transfer Dylan all can run the ball if you made room for them. So if you put this year's line in front of last year's team, yeah, it was rightfully so that they was dominant because it was 7-on-7. It's the problem was when you put that line in front of them. The line was the problem from a standpoint of it could have been a depth issue because it's like all it took was one person to get hurt. All it took was one person to get hurt, and then boom, it's like it's downhill from there. It's downhill from there, and it's like we was shuffling, Cupid shuffling all over the place. People playing hurt like Savion Washington. I know our center Van Wells got hurt at one point. I know. I think everybody got hurt at some point. We might have multiple guards playing. That's why that offensive line got to be ready, because people go out there and they hurt their ankles and their knees, and they may have to come out that game, or they may come out a game or two. And I prefer them to not rush back. And because sometimes you get these soft tissue injuries, and you be silly enough to hamstrings, groin, you have all these different situations, these little tweaks, and you trying to rush back and you never heal, and that mess lasts the whole season. You never really recover. You don't recover when you're doing it like that. So the depth is important. So if somebody do tweak it, they can get themselves well, because you're gonna need the depth, because the guy who replacing him might have to be replaced real soon. So you might get yourself healthy. So when you come back, he might need to come out as soon as you come in, because it's a brutal game up in there in that trenches. And I need y'all, like I tell people say, who's gonna start? I don't care. Some people ask me, who you feel like gonna do this, that, and that at each position. I don't care. How you think the rotation go? I don't have a specific, because it's gonna change per team. But what I do know is you're gonna need all of them. I do know by the eighth, ninth, you playing all these games, everybody don't have a chance to hurt something. Everybody gonna be playing hurt. So you just gotta be ready. Everybody gotta be ready at any level, especially at the college level and above. These are big guys, everybody in the weight room, everybody on that level. And man, it's brutal. You playing that many games. So I don't take for granted, the depth. The line is going to dominate. I've talked about this, I've talked about this a long time now, especially since the summer. I'm a common sense person. I'm gonna do my math. I look at matchups. I just look at just the likelihood, the probability, whatever you want to call it. When you look at the fact that the depth we have, at the type of depth, not just depth, not just quantity, but quality depth, to the point where we don't really even know who's gonna start. Let's say you're talking about defense. We can say the same about offense, but let's say you say that about defense. We can even transition to defense, because the defense has several guys who can start at both sides of the tackle. And whether you're talking about a 1 tech, 3 tech, or whatever, it's depth either way. And if we look at our ends and edges, the same thing. I think the tackles probably has more depth. I see Wiggins is coming into his own. It was projected for him to be that guy. And he's coming into his own, a young guy. He's able to penetrate the backfield. But I think we already had Matt Neal. Matt Neal playing well. He got something to prove. Matt Neal's bigger than he went at 88. And Matt Neal's bigger than what we think. He's a big guy, and he's athletic. And then you got Tafik that came in. You got Carter playing well. So we got some guys who really can really break down the middle of that line. And then, like I said, the guys coming off the outside, the ends, the edges, you know what we got. I like the way Hayes plays, the way he pushed people back in the backfield. I like the way people like, was it Webb Walker coming on. I like, what Okinola is doing. And, Wade, I think he hurt his ankle, something like that. You haven't really seen him out there, but I'm sure he'll be back. So just having a lot of guys who's ready to go after that quarterback, it's going to be necessary for anybody who had audacity to decide they're going to try to throw the ball. But what I do like is that variety. Is like a smorgasbord of types of guys and personnel groups. Again, we didn't have last year. We didn't have a variety where if they do want to get froggy, and we do have to get big in the middle for the Kansas States, the Oklahoma States. Sure, even the North Dakota States who want to bring their little stuff in here and play with big boys and act like they big. Give them what they're asking for. The quarterback want to run the ball. They want to run the ball, they little running back against the big boys. Load them up. Put Big Carter in there and see can you move him around. Put Shadoze, put Big Barnes in there and see y'all gonna move him around. So we have a diversity when you're talking about pass rushers versus stopping the run. We got it both here. Make sure y'all get them lights up while we at it here. Long season, you're going to utilize them players. And you'd rather have them than not. Matter of fact, you will use them. It's just to what degree. The last thing you want to do is be on E. Like, oh, we got a chance to make a run, and we go on E as far as our players. We got a chance to, we got a good record if we just do this, that, and that. But we already tapped out. Our depth chart is already on the bottom. You look at spring, for example. I know we had a couple running backs to lead. And we had some coming in right at the spring game. They just said, we gone. And the couple running backs we had left, both just so happened to have an injury. Just think about that. It wasn't major, there's no surgery, no. But they had enough injury where they didn't play. It was wet and all that. And they put what's his name? Hardy out there. Is that Hardy? I don't know what I want to say. Harvin Hardy. What is his name? Hardy. We had to put a guy that was a receiver. Now, he was always the Travis Hunter guy. He was always the guy who used to be in the blue jersey. And who was that? And he had the Cisco color hair and all that. But he wasn't the big name, young guy. He played both sides of the ball. And him and Hodge. No, it's not Hodge. I'm not talking about Hodge. We don't have no two Hodges, do we? Harge, yeah. Harge. Yeah, that's very close. Harge and Hodge is very close in spelling. But yeah, we're talking about Harge. And I know we moved him and Watkins over there at the end of the season last year. And we just had a DB issue too. Speaking of depth, we had problems everywhere from performance to injuries to everything. And we had to move him to defense. He was on offense, even though he's playing both. He's on offense mostly. He went to defense. They had to bring him back over there to be running back. You don't want to have those issues because injuries gonna come. You better be at minimum 3 deep that you confident in. Now I know we don't have that at quarterback. At least to the same quality. I know we have quarterbacks. I just pray they get themselves together. But I know running back, we definitely good there. I know if, let's say Hayden started and then he had to go down, and let's say people say, okay, they bring Auguste, even though he just got that, people don't know what he can do. But even so, you got Welch, you got Charlie, you got Hood, you got these people back there who you feel can maintain that role. We're not comparing as far as quality. We're saying we're confident they can maintain that role to a degree to keep it functioning at a decent level. So you don't want to find no position where you gotta move somebody from a whole nother side of the ball or position to fill your depth issues. And that's offensive line. I almost felt like last year when we started making comments like offense need to go get somebody off of defense. It's like it was so bad. We almost wanted to recruit some. Why don't they put they were saying put Bishop on the line, put Cokes on the line, because we seen them blocking on the what they call the Rick Ross package. And it was like, you don't want to be in that situation where you just like it ain't nothing that's so bad. You desperate enough to pull something from a whole nother team down there. That's not going to be the case with Colorado this year. So that's the beauty. The defensive line in each position, even with injuries, you still pretty confident. It's not a huge drop off. Matter of fact, it's almost like the same quality coming in behind it. So looking at the trenches, we happy. The group right behind them now, the linebackers, I think it's creating an interesting thing. Let's think about it. We went from a concern of who's going to start. We didn't like who was, people. Trevor Woods coming back. We need to go get linebackers. Go get linebackers immediately. We need linebacker. Everybody was talking about get linebackers. And then you look at the fact that, man, we like linebacker heaven. You know, we came first with Nikhil. Really, we brought in Wester first. He came with his brother, so that was positive. Then we went and got Nikhil. It was okay. We got it. And then we got Chainsaw. I'm like, okay. And then we got some younger linebackers who's gonna be good in the future. But you know, our linebacker depth quality went up pretty significantly compared to where we come from and where we were, because we didn't have that variety like I talked about the other position, like far as size, skill set. We know what Benson and Trevor can do. I don't necessarily believe they are a good pair. They may be paired in certain packages with other people, but I don't think, because neither one of them to me are true raw linebackers from the intellect standpoint. Like they may have some of the toughness and whatever, but just a true linebacker. I think Hill Green is a guy who's a true linebacker. He's a student. That's his position. He know that he wasn't a convert. He's a true linebacker, and I think that Chain is like that too. So, and I think Wester's like that. Even though he looks to be a hybrid, he's a true linebacker in a smaller body. A lot of people look at him and be like, "Oh, he could play this, he could play that." You know, he's a true linebacker. He moves and plays and thinks like a linebacker. So we got some true linebackers in there. So when you got those type of guys, maybe you can put in a hybrid or alternate linebacker in there, because you know, if he don't do his job, we know the Hill Green. I don't want both my linebackers running to the wrong hole. I don't want both my linebackers getting confused. I can't afford both of y'all getting confused, because sometimes one linebacker can bail the other one out. If both of y'all run into the wrong hole, we got none at the second level. If Trevor Woods want to go play Patty K, I know Hill Green not. He gonna stay at the level he's supposed to play at. So I just think that they both I ain't gonna talk about they tough and whatever. I'm just gonna say they have the tendency to not read on the level I think they should read, and they have a tendency kind of like blindly running the hole. And I think it can hurt you when they come to the quarterback, who a team who really run the ball like that and play action, because I think they're just assume just run into the wrong or just misread. And I know that, you know, those more experienced true linebackers, they gonna play it differently. We're gonna need some people who know the difference. As I said, I saw the practices last year and then last week. No comparison to the size and scale. Definitely, a lot more competitive. But like I said, they have some true linebackers. Like for example, we had a true linebacker last year. He was crazier than a bitch, but we immediately saw it. And we saw it when he practiced. We saw how he moved. We saw how he looked, and we saw it in the game. And that was Juju. And imagine if we had one more or two more Jujus. Our defense would have looked different, because people don't want to be real. Everybody talk about defensive line, and then as soon as you point out the linebacker group, they always want to include somebody else in it. But I already broke it down. Somebody who was dogging out, they said, well, Juju could play. I said, exactly. He didn't need no line. Exactly. The line didn't affect Juju. The line wasn't affecting the linebackers like that. They was getting, I can read now. No, you still can't read. I'm looking at you. You know, your reading is not your strength. You need to work on that. You know, but it wasn't necessarily the defensive line play that was hindering our linebackers, especially in the beginning. It was their lack of fundamentals. And just like you can't blame the defensive line for all the quick slants, they're going right behind the linebacker. Yeah, they knocked the ball down or picked it off one time. As many slant, drag. Everybody in the world decided to slant, drag, because I guess they say your linebacker's so dumb, they're just going to run and play patty cake at the line. Why did they never knock the ball down? You're a linebacker, you sitting right up on hook to curl, especially if you know it's coming. So they won't even play action. It was a hook. They weren't even trying to draw the linebacker. Linebacker sitting there. Man, he right there. He right behind you. Drop back. Even if you drop back and you keep your eye, drop back, be ready to knock the ball down. You just read the quarterback eyes. They never did. So, you know, it's the skill set is definitely different, because there's no way if I was out there, you can keep doing that. You got to be a ball player at some point. Hill, Green, and Wester, and Trevor on passing downs with Wester. I told people, I said it, and if you notice that Trevor touchdowns and interceptions in his practice look a lot like when he was at safety, but all his picks and stuff were in the red zone. Trevor is a good hybrid red zone safety / linebacker. Like if you want to have a set where you kind of bring a linebacker down, a lot of people talk about a nickel or different variation of a nickel. That's exactly what I called it. It's like an extra linebacker who playing like a safety. It's a hybrid. And Trevor was the type of guy that he's tall and he have ball skills in a short space. Not which he can't cover ground worth for nothing in the open field. As far as coverage, he looked like he's moving in slow motion. His hips are not there. He's more of a nickel in a tight space. He can cover you inside the red zone. That's why I say he's a red zone guy. So, are you in the red zone? Yeah, I think Trevor will be a good guy because just in case you try to dump some across the middle, tight end right behind, he gonna pick it off. I just can't figure out why he couldn't figure that out when they were throwing them quick snatch and drags. I just knew he was gonna be the guy to pick all that off. But you're looking at the fact that that's what he is. He's not a true linebacker, every down linebacker, first, second down linebacker. He don't read like one, but I like a guy who's not afraid to come up and hit when he needs to, but also can help you in coverage and in those zone type situations. And that's what he's proven himself to be. If you look at the picks, he ain't covering nobody man to man and like that. He's just like a little zone drop coverage, and they try to dump it over in the middle, right in the flats or whatever. He right there, and that's his strength. So I hope they're using that way. Don't try to be anything outside of that. Colorado had no depth last year on the offensive defensive line. Yeah, depth or quality depth, neither. Or the coach analyze the players that make mistakes. I would assume. I mean, you got to think about it. We looking at well off. I mean, count. Even though these kids are not doing. Back when I played, man, we did 2-a-days and sometimes 3. Ain't nothing like that in the South. And the fatigue is unimaginable. Fatigue is. Imagine you go to practice one time, and you go early in the morning. You got to practice 8. 9 or whatever in the morning. You practicing 3 hours, right? You go to breakfast, you go to practice, you go to lunch, you take a break, you go to meetings or something like that, and you go back and practice your regular time you would during the school, like 3 o'clock. That's a 2-a-day. Man, you don't did one practice in the heat, you don't sweat it out, you don't lost your fluids and all that stuff, your electrolytes. You already kind of feel like, people go to sleep, man. They be so tired. They get in their bed. Let me tell you, I had a roommate, man. It's unreal. Because you so tired, you go back to your room during the break. You so tired, you go to sleep. You go to sleep and get in the bed with his football equipped pants on. I'm like, man, you crazy. I couldn't go to sleep for one. It don't make no sense. I didn't take no shower and all that because they got to put the same old nasty clothes. We had that kind of wonderful. I don't know what they have. Probably Colorado, multiple pants or whatever. You take it off, put a new set on. That pants soaking wet, you sweaty, you smelly, and you pretty much that all day. You may take the pants off, but you sweaty, right? And you ain't really got that much of a break. You watch film or whatever, have lunch, you might get an hour and a half before you have to go back to practice. I didn't like to go. I found out, that's me. If I went to sleep, I woke up more tired than I was before I went to sleep. Like just because you kind of lethargic at that point. Maybe you didn't get enough sleep. Maybe you recovering from your sleep. But I just realized I don't need to go to sleep because I felt I just was like high when I woke back up. Like almost like itis. Imagine that. Like you got itis after you ate. It was like a tease. Because you're not gonna get no full nap. You go to sleep, it's like as soon as you close your eyes, you waking back up. Now you got to go out there and practice, and you got to wake up. So that was like torture to me. So that was the old school way. Now you will wonder what 3-a-day fit in at. The 3-a-day would be like the same schedule where you are practice in the morning, and I I don't know, maybe you'll do like special teams, 7-on-7, something like that. And one of those third practices, and maybe the other practice up closer. Maybe you'll throw in some condition. I don't know. It was rare that you did a 3-a-day, but I have done some 3-a-days, and it might be a combination with film or something like that, or weightlifting or something. And phew, one thing you never forget, I did in the high school and I did in college. Those 2-a-days ain't nothing. But what they doing now, what they do now, we see them practice in the morning, and then the rest of the day they still there. They just ain't practicing. They watching film. They might lift weights. All of that's going on. So they got plenty of time to analyze. They watching film the same day of what they did at practice. So they got plenty of time to analyze. That's why I say the growth should be significant, because you practicing every day in the spring, in that fall. It's an expedited thing. You got 3 weeks or so to get ready for a game. And so everything is compact. All your packages, everything is implemented. You didn't implement everything in the spring. Fall, the coaches are not out there. This is where we put it all together in these 3 weeks. So you going hard 6 days a week, 6 days a week. Not so much physically. That's why I guess they took that 2-a-day out, because you are more likely to get injured, because that's, you're not properly resting. You just going hard. You look more likely to injure yourself because your body is just worn out, and you're more likely to favor something, and pull a hamstring and favor it, and then hurt something else. So it's good to not have multiple practices, but just because they're not practicing, that doesn't mean that they're not having other activities. So they definitely watching a lot of film, going over the playbook and all of that. So if anything, they got plenty of time to go over mistakes. Yeah, Wester is like, he plays very low to the ground. He's very smart, very physical, and there's no way, to me, he's like a linebacker version of the Honey Badger. You want him on the field. You definitely want him on the field as much as possible, because he's a playmaker. He's a playmaker. He knows how to get to the ball. He rarely gets blocked. The lineman's not blocking him. He uses his smarts, his quickness, his speed to get to the ball. So that's what I say about Wester as well. But at the end of the day, that's for this screen here. Colorado linebacker group looking good. Secondary group looking good. Got a lot of depth. We don't quite know where it fit, and we don't really get a lot of looks at it. We kind of see like snips of the secondary when they get interception, but we don't see how they lining up and stuff like that. We kind of see like half of the play, especially when Travis is not on that side of the ball. We didn't even figure out who's the cornerbacks, because we noticed Travis playing a lot of offense. Who's the cornerbacks? Because I've always said that people smart, who's going to play the other side? I say both of the guys going to have to play, because if Travis need a break or whatever situation is, they going to be the quote unquote starting. They may not start there, but they be the ones playing. So we like, it's gonna be DJ and Hood. You ain't gotta pit them against each other, because they both gonna have to play. Because it's not always gonna be guaranteed that they always gonna be opposite side of Travis. Somebody gonna have to play in Travis' spot when he's not there. When he need a break, just coming off offense, just came off a long run. And you don't want to put somebody again and they say, oh, Travis, yeah, let's go at the dude who just got in. These guys gonna play a lot. They're gonna play the equivalent of a starter in a lot of ways, whether they are playing in Travis' spot or whether they alternate in that spot over there, or you better make sure they don't have an injury. Because now you got to find that fourth receiver. That fourth DB. And now, so who is that? While we talking about who gonna be the starter, if one of them hurt their ankle, like we saying last year, everybody was hurt. They were putting safeties and stuff at cornerback. Kamani, I think he had a hamstring at one point. He was just hurt, just not performing. But we had Cooper at one point. We had Stockmar at one point. Cooper wasn't necessarily getting hurt, but it was just mental stability. At one point, it was in the beginning, it was stability, and it just kind of went rocky. Stockmar jumped in there, and he getting hurt. So we know injury can happen. We know mistakes can happen. A lot of stuff can happen. So we got more to consider than just those three DBs. Travis or Hood, Travis or McKinney. No, all of them got to be ready to play because injury can happen to anyone. And now you the starter, or you the equivalent of a starter if they can't finish a game or they need a break or for whatever reason. So we looking at more than just them three. Now we got to see how Boozy coming along. You're a true freshman. You know how. Hopefully Riley or one of those guys. I know like people like to say Hodge. Maybe that's an option, but then you taking him away from nickel. So now who you got? And now I see a guy who's stepping up that I've been talking about in the safety position, who was an athlete, and people just don't respect him. He went out there one game. He was really in position, but he didn't have his legs up on them in Oregon, and that's Travis J. Travis J is a guy I feel can play that nickel position behind Hodge. I believe he has the size, the skills, the experience, and the confidence to play. And he was hurt last year, and a lot of people don't take that consideration. So yeah, you can bump Hodge out there if you need to, if we don't have the depth as far as the young guys ready to step in, because I think like I said, Riley came from Miami. I think he's the big DB. I don't know if he's number 8 or number 6, something like that. All them boys better be ready to play. I'm really thinking. I think it's a given to have 4. I think at least 5 guys got to be ready to play at DB at some point. Because Trav is automatically gonna need some breaks. Those other 2 guys are gonna be playing, so that's 3. You got to have at least one of them guys have a backup, because if one of them get hurt, Hood, McKinney, forward, whatever, however, the hamstring, ankle, whatever you want to say, now you got to immediately replace them, because whoever replaced them gonna be playing, because Travis gonna need a break. So you got 4 guys who gonna play at some point. So for you to be really, really halfway comfortable, you need 5 and really 6, but you need 5 DBs. So yeah, Riley number 9 was one of them, and he's looking decent. Let's keep it. Appreciate it. I had several times. If you don't do your job, well, he showed that last year. He'll bench you in a heartbeat, starter and all. You see what he did to Cooper. Cooper, man, I don't know what happened with Cooper. I hope he got a guarantee something, but I think Cooper was in a good position to be. But I don't know if I think he wanted to start. Maybe he was going to be behind Hodge. But that's another one that I think he was better off in a nickel position. I think he's better off. Plus, he'll come up and hit, and he can blitz and stuff like that. So it was good to have him. And then he left. So it was like, okay, well, I guess we don't really have that. But like I say, we're not hearing much about Stockmeyer and Travis J. I think those guys are plenty able. They have some cornerback experience. I think Travis J and Stockmeyer could step in that nickel if Hodge needs to step out there. So it's worst case scenario, Hodge needs to go on the outside. We do have some guys who can get in there. But without considering the fact that Hodge has to go on the outside, hopefully Riley will be able to. Is it Savion Riley? Hopefully, he went to Miami last, but I think where was he before that? Was it Vanderbilt? And then he went down to Miami, something like that. I knew all this stuff when they was in the portal and all that. So I know we just got another safety who just got there. Some of the other content creators are excited about, and then we got that Ian Massey. So Ian Massey is a guy that who's going to help add some depth at the safety position, where you have Silman Craig, Shiloh. And Shiloh has some stuff, whatever he got going. I know Silman Craig had some shoulder stuff last year. I don't think he ended up in no surgery. But like these small guys, they had to do a lot of hitting more probably they need to. And then, behind them, I know we had Herman Smith come over. He's doing okay. I know we got R.J. Johnson back there. So that's 4. And then you got Massey. I think Massey can easily find his way in that top 3. Again, look what happened last year with the UCLA game, how they took Shallow out. And it threw the whole game off. Yeah, Ward did well. But Silman Craig wasn't really at the safety position. I think they tried to move him there at that point. Silman Craig was more so in the nickel role last year. So, and really, that's another one that if we need to move Hodge down, Silman Craig can move back down to nickel, and then we put somebody like a Massey or whoever, R.J. Johnson at safety. So hopefully they getting a lot of looks like everybody else is doing. I know the offensive line is getting a lot of looks, like I said, different positions. I know the defensive line. So hopefully the secondary has that same thing. And I would hope so because you got Coach Livingston back there. Hopefully Silman Craig still gets some looks at that nickel. Hopefully, all of them get different looks, even at cornerback, just to have that one-on-one experience. Because when them injuries hit, that depth started looking real shaky. And you don't want a guy out there uncomfortable or just odd, or the rest of the team is odd. Like, oh, we just practiced this week, just do that in there for the game. Get that work in this fall. Everybody compete, but also be ready to play multiple positions. It means, I want to start, I want this spot. No, be of value anywhere you can be, because your team, they're going to need it. I don't know. Y'all, people easily forget about last season. Last season was full of injuries. So we got to be ready for them injuries, and you got to be ready to make some adjustments. And if they're able to do that, then Colorado got a fighting chance to be battle tested, because that's the only people who are going to make it. See, all these other programs, they don't care about depth because they already got 10 5-stars sitting on the bench and whatever. Now they may be unproven, but they don't really concern themselves with depth, because you look at it, they got depth. That's why the portal is eating them up. That's how we get people like Hayden and Hart. And that's another I said Hurt. The thing I didn't mention, but our tight end is looking like we got us a tight end. And that's a game changer, because that tight end can then be sneaky and unaccounted for. And I talked about that, on Thursday, when you can put a guy to help block, sneak on out there, make a linebacker have to respect him. And if he don't, he open. And if he can't be blitzing, because Hart can sneak off there and catch the ball. But he also can block. He's big enough to block, but he got to be respected as a threat. That'll keep some of that blitz and stuff at bay, right? But also give us a true fourth receiver without lining up to show you I got a fourth receiver. So it's kind of disguised. And he's big. And he can get tough downs and things like that. So that's a big plus, because we was concerned. We lost a couple tight ends. And this guy, we knew he was coming in. I think he's originally from Colorado. So Colorado offense is looking very well rounded. You got an exceptional top quarterback, a few top receivers, some sneaking ones like Timmis. Talking about Timmis. Timmis is sneaking on up that depth chart. He already got the size. He already shown he got the speed. You don't see him dropping balls. He can easily be that third or fourth receiver now. If you say, what happened to Marion Miller? If a Marion Miller, I don't want to say it again. If a Marion Miller rises to the occasion, forget what everybody else doing. If he can rise to the occasion to be that third or fourth receiver, you would officially make Colorado unstoppable. Because God forbid you got 3 receivers at any time of that quality on the field, whether it's Timmons or Miller, or Timmons and Miller, and you got 4 receivers out there. With that size, all these boys 6'2 plus, Timmons, Marion Miller, and then you turn around and put Shepard out there. You got a problem. You got a matchup nightmare. That's people don't get this. It's a matchup nightmare. It's a matchup nightmare that Colorado is about to present if those players step up. It's like I said, Timmons like he's stepping up, but that don't mean that we don't need, because again, injuries, hamstring stuff happening. We need all them boys to be up to par, because their number gonna be called at some point. And if they could keep up with the pressure and the quality they can put on a team, it's gonna be what we said. Because Shador making people look bad by it's just ball placement. And over to my they catch, they Timmons catch. It looked like DJ was there, but Shador back threw it right on the shoulder. Even if he was inside the shoulder pads with him, he wouldn't have got it. And then he did the same thing when he threw that ball to Draymond Miller when Shiloh was out there. And Shiloh, yeah, he was slow to get to him, but he threw that thing in the perfect spot. Look, Shador is throwing people open. You notice that people got good coverage, and like a lot of these jump balls that you see with Will Shepherd, number 30 or whoever's there covering. And it's like Shador is spot checking these folks, man. So all you got to do is be available. Go get it. Go up and get it. Your man can be covered, and Shador is throwing the ball where only his man can get it. It's unfair. So that's the kind of thing you got. If you got size, Shador know how to use size. He did at Jackson State. If he got some tall receivers out there, he gonna use it against these smaller DBs. He's not missing wide open receivers. He's not missing them. He's not missing the opportunity to put the ball on their back shoulder in the corner of the end zone. It's a problem that the guy bigger used. Even worse, that he got a quarterback who can put the ball in the spot where even if you right there, you right here, he gonna throw it right there. You have to pass interfere to get that ball, and that's because of the quality of quarterback that they have. There's not too many quality quarterbacks like that, and especially not on losing teams. Somebody asked me who I think would be the third string quarterback. It may be Taylor. I mean, like I say, maybe Taylor, but I think Wade during the spring looked good. I like Wade. You know why I like Wade? Because Wade is going to be great for the scout team. I was just thinking about it. I was looking at how his build and his skill set. Wade is going to be great for scout team quarterback for North Dakota, Kansas State, these running quarterbacks who can throw, but big, athletic, fast running backs. He's going to be able to give the defense a good look. See, we didn't have quarterbacks. All we had was Gavin and a little bit of Staub. Like, it was no diversity. Like, all Gavin was a tall receiver who was more athletic than the passer. But we have, if we were playing Cam Newton, we can go and put Taylor out there. You know, it's like we have these looks at QB that, if anything, they can help our defense with the looks on the scout team. But as far as like backing up Shador, I think Staub just have to be ready. And then what's good about Staub, what he's shown at Utah, is that he can help with a balanced run game. Staub can be effective. He's not finna throw you out there. You know, his throwing is don't look as polished as Shador. But when you get him a running game with you, it makes him look that much better. And I think that him coming in, not as a starter on no Florida State situation, but if he needed to go in, I think he can maintain again. I know for sure Staub can beat North Dakota State. I know for sure Staub. I believe Staub can beat Nebraska. I mean, they're going up against a freshman quarterback. And I know Staub can beat Colorado State. So my hope is Shador go out there, knock it out the park, get Staub in there. And then I hope that Staub do his thing, get his feet wet, and then we can get these other quarterbacks some reps too. So that's why I want Shador to just really blow him out way before halftime, and let Staub get him a quarter, and then the fourth quarter let Wade and Taylor get some reps in, and don't do that mess that Staub did last year. Get down, fumble the ball, and give a touchdown in the last minute, and make the game look closer than what it was. We beat Nebraska 38-14, but really it was 38-7, and they just fumbled the ball in the red zone, in on their side of the field. And let them boys score at the end of the game within a minute. That's the only thing I don't want. You get your respect the fact your team, they goose egg them, you better finish that goose egg. So, yeah, I think it may be Taylor technically, but it could be Wade. But we want to protect Shador and Staub, because We don't want to treat it like stop may not need to be healthy to go in behind the Shador worst case scenario. So technically, they are the backup quarterbacks. It's all like they're the second and third string. So stop need to be, he need to be hanging with Shador. He's like the VP. He need to be ready. You need to be ready. We seen what happened last year. We don't need no huge drop off because for whatever reason, he got to be ready. He can't be looking like JV. So if we're gonna be running the ball, put the running quarterback in. Don't let start run nothing because he gonna be Florida State. We can't afford our second, third string to get hurt. We can't afford. Stop. We're not treating you like a backup. We treat you like an extended first string. Because if Shador not able to, your behind got to be ready to be healthy and play like you a first string. So we need somebody going there and be out there being a crash dummy. We let one of the other ones who can do that. They are running quarterbacks. Wade is a good running quarterback. So that's all, man. Like I said, this is just week one. I expect week two to look even better. It's another 6 days. So every day you should get better. So like I said, they in there all day. The coaches are there all day. They're analyzing me. Even though they're not doing 2 and 3 a day practices, they are there meeting. Players are meeting, coaches are meeting all day long. So each day is a chance to make corrections. It should not look the same because it's like a condensed period to just go boom, boom, boom. Even though it's only a week difference, you don't practice 12 days in 2 weeks. So when you look at any other part of the year, 12 practices have to be spread out pretty much over 4 weeks because you're doing every other day. So, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's you only got 6 practices in 2 weeks. So it's a condensed version. It's all day. Class gonna start eventually, but I'm saying right now it's just football. So I see some growth. We're gonna be back here same time next week. So what is the difference between this week and next week? What kind of growth have we seen? We should be able to recognize something. So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Again, we're gonna have more information. Unified strength, as you see there and there. The little logos there. Next time you see me, might have a little pair, get a feel. But we represent unified strength, and that's us versus the world. Colorado Buffaloes. Get yours. We ain't no fraternity or nothing like that, but you'll be able to recognize when we go to the games. That's you stand out. You just don't have a regular Buffalo shirt on or a Colorado hat. Us. When we see us, we recognize us. We're gonna have tailgates. Got tailgate coming down at the UCF game. And might even be able to recognize us at one of the home games. But when we see us, you're gonna know it is what it is. So make sure y'all keep an eye out. More information to come. We have a walk-on that's doing better than Taylor, according to coordinator. I don't know. They said a walk-on from. I heard may have somebody from FAMU or something. I don't know. I don't know who the walk-on is, but hey, that would be great. All right, great live. Appreciate you. Hey, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe again. If you're here and you haven't subscribed yet, today is the day to subscribe. All right. And with that, I'm Greg. Greg said it. And I'll be talking to y'all real soon. Enjoy.